Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire, Xoti Build, full cleric, or better to say full priest, Harvester of Gone build. There is no playing without a priest in Pillars of Eternity 2. Druids can somehow replace priests, but nothing beats the utility of priests. Xoti is pretty much a must, at least on the hardest difficulty available when you play with companions. This build for Xoti was made to work on Path of the Damned difficulty, and if it works on the hardest difficulty available, it will work on all other difficulties as well. Let's not waste time, and let's go. Before we start with the video, I got a new channel about my cat. It's not a gaming channel, but it's a relaxing channel with a lot of gaming music, so you can chill out while doing something else. So, if you have a daughter, mother, sister, even your mother-in-law, recommend them the channel. They're also gonna like it, as well as if you have cats. It will be something like a cat TV as well. Your cats will have fun too. Thanks up front for subscribing on the new channel. Let's go to the video. Now, as far as Xoti goes, when we level up, as far as skills go, what we need is alchemy and religion. And we max it out from level 1 to level 20, we don't need anything else on Xoti. Let's move up to classic leveling. Xoti needs to be under respec like 3 or 4 times during the game. So, for example, when you are level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until you reach level 6, you will use Blessing for Insightful. Okay, to boost perception, or better to say, the chance to hit. Then you're gonna need to respec again, remove Blessing, and go with Dire Blessing, the upgraded version of Blessing. So Xoti requires a lot of respecs, yeah. What I'm gonna provide in this build, I'll tell you what to go for and when to respec, but we're gonna stick to the final build, how it's supposed to look like on level 20. So you're taking Blessing, but in case of the final build, we're taking Holy Power, and we move on. Level 3 for Xoti, Alchemy, Religion, and now it's pretty much simple here. We take Iconic Projection because it's great healing and damage dealing spell on Xoti. And of course, in passives, we're taking Weapon and Shield style. Level 4, Alchemy, Religion. Now, for early game, you want to take something like Repulsing Seal or Prayer of the Body or even Halt, okay? But for the late game and for the final build, because we're gonna switch between Sword and Board, or better to say Sickle and Lantern, and Two-Handed Staff, we're taking a Two-Handed style as well, because one will be for one type of spells, the other weapon for the other type of spells, okay? But consider respecking for this on like level 16, 17, where you're gonna take Two-Handed style. Till then, pick some of the spells that I told you. As far as weapon proficiency goes, this is very simple. We're picking up Dagger and we're picking up Quarterstaff, and then everything else doesn't matter for Xoti. First, we're gonna take the Dagger. Level 5 on Xoti, sticking with Alchemy, sticking with Religion, and now the third line opened up. This is very important for Xoti, and these two spells, Dire Blessing and Consecrated Ground, are great from start to finish. Okay, from level 1 to level 20, they're extremely valid, which means now it's time to respec for the first time, where we won't take Blessing. We're gonna remove Blessing and we're gonna start using Dire Blessing, upgraded version of a Blessing. Up we go to level 6, Alchemy, Religion. Now for level 6, what we're gonna take is Combat Focus for extra concentration. And we say next. On level 7, Alchemy, Religion. And now comes the time for big power spike on Xoti. Everything is absolutely great. When I say everything, I mean everything. She receives Circle of Protection, great protective spell AoE. She receives the Shining Beacon, great debuff and burn damage to enemies. Devotions for the Faithful, great buff, debuff area of effect. All of these spells are absolutely great, including the passives. So Xoti now, what's the best thing to go for mid-game? And so I recommend going into the spell shaping immediately. so we have bigger area of effect. And we're gonna take Devotions for the Faithful for extra accuracy and debuff on enemies' accuracy, okay? Even though this is burn damage, if you opt in to take Shining Beacon, then you have to take Scion of Flame, okay? So have that in mind. And you're supposed to take Divine Mark as well. This is not the build for that. This is like the best build on Xoti, so that's why we're taking Devotions for the Faithful into Spell Shape. Up to level 8. Alchemy, Religion, the single point that we get, it's time to go for the Scion of Flame and slowly prepare for the Migrant's Might, all the way for the late game. Now we say next. What did I say here? We got Hatchet, we got Dagger, now we need a Quarterstaff, two-handed Quarterstaff, and we're good to go. Alchemy and Religion on level 9. And now new spells opened up again. What do we take? These 3 spells. Litany for the Spirit. Acute is great when you wanna buff up Tekehu or Alot because of the power level. Barring's Dead Door, the best spell in the game, but it has to be in combination with Salvation of Time, which I'll explain later on, and Champion's Boon, absolutely great buff for your tanks. Also, we got range with spells, we got tough, we got practically everything that we need here, so we need 3 plus 4, 7 points to take everything here. So this is the most important tier for Xoti, tier 5. What do we take though in this case? Because it's mid-game, we won't need such overpowered spells early on. These are the spells for the mega late game and for the mega bosses. What we're gonna take is range with spells, and we're gonna take action speed with spells. Later on, we immediately take the healer. So on level 10 now, we're going up straight for the healer. And we say next. Level 11, Alchemy, Religion. The new great spells opened up. You will play most of the time during the campaign with a spiritual ally. Once you reset and prepare for mega bosses, then you're gonna take Salvation of Time instead of spiritual ally, okay, for the mega bosses. But in this case now, we got 2 points. We're taking Tough on Xoti and we're taking Spell Resist, so we're pushing up those passives to the max because she receives free spells on the left side, and we took most important spells for the mid game, okay? And we say next. Level 12, Alchemy, Religion, we say next. Again, now you should take Spiritual Ally, but I'm giving you mega late game build for Xoti, and we're taking the Salvation of Time. And we say next. For the weapon proficiency from this point on, it really doesn't matter what you're gonna take, so take whatever the hell you like and move on. Level 13, Alchemy, Religion. And now there's a bunch of great spells, again, for Xoti, as well as full empower spells. So what is the most important thing to take now? Great one to have is the Storm of Holy Fire, great opener, but you're gonna need to respect for endgame because it sucks against mega bosses. Same can be said about Cleansing Flame. These are campaign spells, while Minor Avatar is endgame mega bosses build, when Xoti is actually the strongest in combination with Shields for the Faithful. So these are the 2 spells that you're gonna use basically, okay? These buffs over here. And we say next. Level 14, Alchemy and Religion, and now we're taking the Barring's Dead Door in combination with Salvation of Time. No one will die on you, and you can prolong Shields for the Faithful, you can prolong the Dire Blessing. Better to say your entire party will be extremely strong at level 14 because of Xoti. This is her biggest power spike from this point on. We say next. Level 15, we're taking Alchemy and Religion. Now a lot of us say, why don't you use Resurrection and Revival? You don't need it, you're immortal with Barring's Dead Door into Salvation of Time. Who will you revive when no one's gonna die? No one's gonna get knocked out. It's completely pointless, okay? And that's why this build is so superior to the rest of the builds in the game. I would easily say the most superior build in the game, all classes combined, would be this build that I'm giving you for Xoti. The strongest build in the game by far, most OP. Now, with a single point remaining, what we're gonna take is Litany for the Spirit. We make the Kehu and Alot way much stronger because of the acute buff, and we can prolong it with Salvation of Time. Now we say next. On level 16, we're taking Alchemy into Religion, and now new spells opened up. Crowns for the Faithful is probably the best AoE buff in the game, so we're taking it immediately. This two you're gonna ignore, Dismissal and Spark Souls, but we're gonna take Hand of Veil and Vow, because it's absolutely great. It deals damage, burn damage, we got fire penetration, and it heals allies in a line. You just need good positioning, I'll explain it later on. And we say next. For the weapon proficiency, again, it doesn't matter, pick whatever you like. And we go to level 17, Alchemy and Religion. And now, with the extra point remaining, we can go into either into the Litany for the body and we take extra spells, or you can go with some AoE, but you're gonna respec later on, Storm of Holy Fire or Cleansing Flame, but there is really no need. What we're gonna take is Classic Accuracy with Empowered Attacks. 10 to Accuracy with Empowered Attacks with Accurate Empower, because now we are preparing Accurate Empower to empower Maegran's Might. Okay, for the mega late game, so Maegran's Might Empowered will deal a lot of damage, and that's the most important thing and the only damage dealing spell that you need on Xoti. Everything else, you buff the team up and you debuff enemies. That's how you play Xoti. Up to level 18, Alchemy into Religion. And now we can take Penetration with Empowered Attacks. We need to make sure that we penetrate enemies with Penetrating Empower. Up to level 19, Alchemy, Religion. Now the big power spike with Prestige, power levels up. And we're taking Maegran's Might. And that would be the build. For the final point on level 20, we're taking one out of these two empowers, so it's either Potent Empower or the Lasting Empower. I would say go for the Potent Empower, because a Lasting Empower you can always use Salvation of Time and you can have a lot of benefits out of it, but this needs to be, you know, empowered on some of the spells that are buffs. It's better to empower flat damage with Maegran's Might and use all other buffs in combo with Salvation of Time, instead of prolonging them with empowered lasting on buff spells or debuffs, no matter. So in this case, we're taking the final point into Potent Empower, and this is how Xoti is supposed to look like for the mega late endgame, once you respec at least 3 or 4 times. As I said, good spells to have along the way. During the campaign, before you respec for the first time, is Blessing, and then when you take Dire Blessing, you reset and you erase Blessing for something else. When you take Storm of Holy Fire or Cleansing Flame, later on you're gonna respec and you're gonna take Maegran's Might and use those 2 points into passives to slowly prepare your build to look like this for the mega bosses. This is how you win against mega bosses in the game, and this is probably the best way to do it with Xoti like this. For the final weapon proficiency, doesn't matter. Take whatever you like. So, how do we play Xoti? I usually open up with a Dire Blessing. And that's like in 70% of cases I'll open up with Dire Blessing. If I plan to deal damage with Alot, I'll open up with a buff Litany for the Spirit on Alot. If I plan to open up with Tekehu and his Maelstrom, then I'll buff Tekehu with Litany for the Spirit. The best opener when there's a lot of enemies is by far the Crowns for the Faithful, into the Dire Blessing, into the Consecrated Ground, and then you're ready to cast other buffs or damage dealing spells. When you wanna burst someone out, when there is a mini boss or something like that, you want to empower Maegran's Might. When allies are in danger and they need healing, Hand of Veil and Vow is the best healing in a game, no matter if you have Holy Radiance or flat up healing, or to withdraw someone from the fight and heal them up along the way. There is no better healing than Hand of Veil and Vow. What is the trick with Xoti? Xoti doesn't work without a Cypher, so your main needs to be a Cypher, or you need to have Seraphen in your team. Why? You need to have him because of Ancestor's Memory, or better to say, to give Brilliant to Xoti. So Xoti recovers her spells. What does it mean? It means that you can stack up Salvation of Time and you can keep prolonging beneficial effects, or better to say, all the buffs you casted in a game, including the Undying Baring's Death Door. where no one can die. So the only thing you need to care about is to put Brilliance, Ancestor's Memory on Xoti, and then you prolong with Salvation of Time. It takes some practice, okay? It takes some time to get to know the game, what to cast and when. You need to practice this, or you can check my videos how I killed mega bosses with Xoti and how I was casting spells at what time to prolong, and then there was like the entire list of buffs that last for 300 seconds. But you gotta have a cipher. Doesn't matter if it's your main or if it's Seraphim, you gotta have a cipher with Brilliance for Xoti to work. When you put Brilliance on Xoti, Xoti is the strongest character, NPC, companion, no matter how you wanna call her, in the game. That's about it. What items do you use? Xoti is also Executioner, so later on when you find a Soulbound Dagger, Maruk's Amant, you can easily execute even the mega bosses with a worthy sacrifice, believe it or not. In the meantime, of course, you will use her Sickle, and in the other spot you're gonna use a Chromoprismatic Quarterstaff. This is a great staff when you wanna deal damage, so before casting Empowered Maegran's Might, okay, you wanna switch to the staff and deal damage with Maegran's Might. And then when you wanna cast buffs, healing, debuffs, you're gonna switch to her Lantern and Sickle or Dagger, and you're gonna start casting buffs and debuffs. So do not forget to switch weapons for Empower Maegran Might when you have this staff equipped. It's very important. As far as other gear goes, for the helmet, Taos Headdress, Intellect, Accuracy. For the amulet, we got Bone Setter Torque. You can recover injuries during combat, quite useful. For the armor, as long as you have 0 recovery time, that's the armor that you wanna use. You need 0 recovery time so you can cast spells faster on Xoti. And that's the most important thing. Light armor, medium armor, as long as it's 0. Robes, it really doesn't matter. In this case I was using Effigy's Husk. For the rings, Halgott's Warmth, we go with a Priest Restoration power level and Area of Effect ring of Overseeing, 10% area of effect. For the boots, Priest Boots, okay, healing done, up, Footprints of Ahutaka. For the cape, Cloak of the Theocrat, Intellect and Resolve. For the trinket, Kaihoa. For the gloves, Apothecary Gloves, of course, on Xoti, because of alchemy. And that's the entire build. We got belt left, flare up Constitution, so you raise maximum health. Yeah. A very good hatchet on a Xoti is Acolyte's Frostbite as well. Basically, it's your choice what you wanna play with. Yeah, that would be the build for Xoti as a priest, flat full priest. If you enjoyed the video and you found it helpful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you on the next one. Thanks for watching.